Fantasy Consortium's Wars of the Old World.
Hello gamers, Matthew here from Grey Army Gaming in lovely Lund, Sweden. For this episode of Wars of the Old World, we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to have a civil war in the Ogre Kingdoms. Yes, 1,500 points of the Fire Ogres versus 1,500 points of the Death Ogres. We can say that these two armies are coming into the frozen territory in the north and they are clashing into each other as they fight for the town of Orthanael and the magical orbs that are located in these different buildings. The winner of this match will claim this town and all the magical benefits that come from possessing these orbs. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the armies and take a look at the layout and roll off for which scenario we will be playing today. And here's our first army, 1,500 points of the Fire Ogres. The army is led now by a Tyrant, and he is armed with the Obsidian Blade, and he has the Talisman of Preservation. He is joined now with a level 2 Fire Belly, who has the spells Flame Storm and Fireball, and he will also serve as our BSB. For core now, we've got 6 Ogres with a banner, and they are joined here by 9 Ironguts with a banner. For special now, we have 3 Lead Belchers. In addition to that, we have 2 Mounfang Cavalry, and for our rare, we have a Scrap Launcher. So there you go, once again, 1,500 points of the Fire Ogres. For our second army now, we have 1,500 points of the Death Ogres. To the left now, we have our general, a level 3 Slaughtermaster, and he has the Lore of Death with the 3 spells, the Caress of Lanif, Doom and Darkness, and we also rolled for the Purple Sun of Zereus. To his right now, we have a BSB. For our core now, to the left, we have a total of 8 Ironguts with a banner. Over to the right, we have 9 Ogres, and they also have a banner. For special now, in the back, we have our 4 Lead Belchers, and over here for rare choices, we have 2 Ironblasters, for a total of 1,500 points of the Death Ogres. Rolling off for scenario now, we have a 3, which will be Battle for the Pass. Alright, and here now we have our 4-foot by 6-foot board set up for Battle of the Pass. The interesting thing with Battle of the Pass now is we deploy our armies on the short side and they will engage each other now on the long side. We've gone ahead and set up our deployment now, so let's take a look at the final positions of both armies. Starting now over here with the Fire Ogres. We've kind of pushed ourselves to one end. We've got our 2 Mounfang here. There's our block of our Ironguts with our Tyrant in the middle. Here's our Ogres with our nice Fire Belly right there. And we've got our 3 Lead Belchers. Back here, hidden behind this cover, we have got our Scrap Launcher. And they're facing down now to the Death Ogres on that side. And the Death Ogres have their setup here. They have got their Ironguts right here. And they have their Slaughtermaster there. And next to them, they have their Ogres with their BSB in it. We've got some Lead Belchers here. And we've got a cannon there and a cannon there on both flanks. So there we go. That's deployment and setup. Let's go ahead and roll off now for first turn. Fire Ogres now using the red dice and the Death Ogres using the black dice. The Fire Ogres finished deployment first, so they will be giving a +1 now to the Death. Here we go. And the Death Ogres will now start with a 4 to a 1. Alright, charges to declare. We have got none at the moment, so we're going to go ahead and just do some remaining moves to position ourselves nicely. Let's start over on this side with our Lead Belchers. Alright, let's go ahead here and let's slide these guys up 4 inches, and then we'll give them a 2-inch wheel. And there's their final position right there. Second, let's move our Ironblaster up. It's 6 inches to there. In addition, let's move our Ogres up here 8 inches so we don't get in the way of the line of sight of this thing. And their final position there. And then let's run over here now to the Ironguts and get them their movement. We're going to try to move them just outside of the average charge range of those other Ogres. And there's their final position right there. Finally, let's go down here and we will just take this Ironblaster and just move him up a few inches like so. Well, that's the end of the movement phase for the death. Let's move on to the magic. Alright, wins the magic. Here we go for the death. Whoa, not very good. That's a 5. Did they get a channel? No. And the Fire Ogres, no channel. So we are looking at a 5 to a 4. Alright, we got to do it. We're going to cast the Purple Sun from this guy, and we're going to send it off into this direction. Let's go ahead and throw all 5 of our dice at it. So here we go. 10, 15, 18. We got it with a 21. And the other fires will try to dispel, and they did not get it, so it will go off. Alright, there we have the template placed, and we're going to have this take a line right through here. That will hit almost everybody in that entire group, including our Tyrant. So let's go ahead and roll off the number of inches. We got to take the artillery die times 3. 30 inches. That'll be perfect. Go right through them. Alright, 30 inches will indeed pass right through them, and if we follow the arc that we sent it out like this, we see that it will in fact go through all of those warriors and it will end up right here. Okay, here we go. We have to take an initiative test. If they fail the initiative test, they are slain outright. No saves allowed of any kind. Let's start out here with our Tyrant, initiative of 4. So if we roll a 5 or 6, he is gone, and he is fine. And now we have 9 additional warriors here. They have really poor initiative of 2. So on a 1 or 2, they're safe. Everything else, they are taken out. Wow, an incredible roll there. So we have 6 guys that are removed from play. And that is definitely going to require a leadership test here. So we have a leadership of 9 on our Tyrant with a reroll. And he makes it with an 8. And an utterly devastating spell there. Let's return back here now to our Slaughtermaster, and we need to take the lore attribute for that. Okay, with life leeching now, we're going to roll a d6 for every wound. On a 5 or 6, we get 1 dice back in our power pool. So here we go. 18 rolls. Oh, that's amazing. And just like that, we get 9 dice back into our power pool. So 9 more dice for our Slaughtermaster. I've never noticed this before, but when reading these instructions, I see that it says I get to add a dice to his army's power pool. So there we go, 9 dice in my power pool. Alright, let's go ahead and cast the Caress of Lanif. And we need to do the large version because these guys are further than 12 inches away. So let's go ahead from our Slaughtermaster. Let's go on to the unit of ogres there. And we need to cast a 12 plus. So let's go ahead and why not? Let's throw 6 dice at it, see what happens. And we got it. And when I said unit, I actually meant I was going to put it against the Fire Belly. So he's going to take 2d6 hits minus his strength, which is 4. So he's going to take 1 hit. On a 4 plus it wounds, nothing happens. And for our last spell, we have 3 dice left. Let's cast Doom and Darkness. We'll go from, once again, from this guy, and we'll send it over onto our leader, the Tyrant here. 3 dice. We need a 10 plus. We got to show 7. So we got it, which means that our Tyrant's leadership now is dropped down by 3. End of the magic phase, a pretty powerful magic phase. Let's go on to the shooting phase. And let's begin by running over here to this side, and we will have our lead belchers take a shot onto that unit of lead belchers right there. All right, multiple shots, d6. Wow. All right, 14 shots. We're long range, so we're going to be hitting now on 5s. Here we go, 14 shots. All right, 4 hits. We get strength 4, toughness 4, so we're going to be wounding on 4s. And there's 1 wound. Not so all bad. Of that ruckus, and we really only caused 1 wound over here, so we'll drop that guy down to 2 wounds. But the fun's not over yet. Let's run back over here, and we will have this Ironblaster also taking a shot over onto those guys. And you can see here he has a beautiful unobstructed line of sight on them. All right, so let's go up here now, and we'll put a cannonball. Let's go 10 inches from the back of him, so right around here. All right, here we go. Overshooting from our bounce, 8, and we are going to bounce a total of 2 inches. Let's roll that again, 10 inches, because we have the volley of cannonballs, so it's going to bounce 10 inches. So we will easily hit that guy in the center. And causing multiple wounds now, 6 wounds on strength 10. Let's grab another die over here, so we need 6 wounds, strength 10. Alright, here we go. Wounding on 2s. So there we go, that's 3 more wounds. And for the sake of ease, we'll just slide this over here and take this guy off. All right, panic test. Let's go ahead and roll for these guys. With the reroll, they got it with a 6, so no problem. All right, last thing for our shooting, let's run over here to this Ironblaster, and we'll have him take a shot right over here onto our leader here, his unit. We'll put it 10 inches from the back of our Tyrant. All right, overshooting how far? 4 inches, and we're going to bounce misfire. And because it is a volley of cannonballs, we get to roll it again. So 8 bouncing all the way through him, which means he will be taking D6 wounds. There's 2 wounds on a 2+. So there is 2, and we have a 4+. Talisman of Preservation, he gets them both, so nothing happens there. End of the shooting phase. And we've got no close combat, so that brings us now to turn 1 for the Fire Ogres. Alright, let's run over here now and see if we can have any distances here. Charge range, charge distances. Let's check these out before we declare any charges. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We have got our monstrous cavalry here, so we're going to declare a charge with this Mounfang into that unit, and they will hold. And we will also declare a charge with this Tyrant group into the Ironguts, and they will hold again there. Alright, here we go. Starting out with our Mounfang cavalry, we need to get a 16 here, and we got an 18, so they will make it in. And our other unit of Ironguts, here we go. They need an 8. They got it exactly. Alright, so here is how that combat will look now with everybody in base-to-base contact. Alright, let's go ahead and do some remaining moves. I'll head over to these guys right here. Let's send our lead belchers out a little bit more, facing down those other lead belchers there. Alright, so just turning a little bit here, wheeling 2 inches, and moving up 4 more. We'll bring them right there. And these guys here, let's slide them forward a little bit. I'm a little worried about that cannon over there. So let's go ahead and slide forward to get out of their line of sight. And there's their final position right there. Magic phase, Winds of Magic. Here we go. A 6 and a 4. Any channel for the death? No. Any channel for the fire? No. So we will have a total of 6 to 10. 10 to 6. Alright, first spell we're going to cast here is Flamestorm. And we get to place the large, we're going to do the large version and place the large template anywhere within 30 inches of the wizard. And let's go ahead and put it right there. On second thought, we're going to move it a little bit more in the center, because now we have it right in the center of all 3 of those. Okay, it's a 16 plus to cast on this large version, so we need here to show a 14 on 6 dice. And we did it for a total of 20. Death is going to go ahead and throw 6 dice at it, and look at that, they got a triple irresistible, so that is going to be dispelled. So the death is saved from Flamestorm this time. Alright, let's run back over here now and see if we can have a line of sight for our direct damage, for our fireball spell. And when we look here, you see that we do in fact have a line of sight on that unit of ogres there. So we'll go ahead and cast fireball, the remaining 4 dice. So needing a 5+ here, we need to show a, yeah, that's plenty. Okay, so that fireball right there is going to cost 3d6 strength, 4 hits. For a total of 8 hits. And wounding on 4s. And pretty decent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 5+ armor goes to 6+ because of the strength. And they get nothing. So we run over here and we will be taking 6 wounds. That's enough for 2 guys. No panic test necessary because it's only 20% of that unit. Alright, let's that ends up the magic phase. Let's go ahead and do some shooting. We have got our 2 lead belchers here and our scrap launcher. Let's start out with our lead belchers and have them fire onto those lead belchers there. Alright, here we go. D6 shots. And they'll be taking 7 shots. Okay, long range, we're going to be hitting on 5s. And there's a single hit. 4? No. Alright, and before we go too far in the shooting phase, I have to go back here because we forgot about the purple sun. So we got to roll for that thing to see where that goes. That's going to head 4 inches in this direction. So that will bring that one right here. Okay, with that resolved, now we can go to our last shooting here for the Fire Ogres. We're going to go and take this Scrap Launcher. Alright, Scrap Launcher is going to go ahead and drop a rock right in the center of those lead belchers. And right like that, if we hit, we'll be hitting one right in the center, and we'll be hitting 2 additional lead belchers. Alright, here we go. Let's see how we do. And it's going to be a move out in that direction 2 inches. So 2 inches will bring us right here. We will still hit all 3, but none in the center. Alright, here we go. Wounding on 5s. And there are 2 wounds. 6+ save for their light armor. So we get 1 and lose 1. This guy will be down to 2. And that brings us to the end of the shooting phase. Let's run over here now to combat. And we have this big block of combat going on right here. To start us out, let's go ahead and take our D3 impact hits for each of our Mounfang cavalry. So that will be 3 and 2s for a total of 5 impact hits. Wounding on 3s. And there we go. We got a total of 4. Removing him and putting him down to 2 And moreover, we had an Ogre charge here for these 3 guys. So let's go ahead and do a D3 there. We got another 6, 7 impact hits. And we have to figure out for the our leader here, our Tyrant, on a 1 or 2, he only does 1. No, so he does a total of 3. So 3 on 3s, and they are all successful, and we have 4 of them onto 4s. Look at that, for a total of 6. Moving this one over here, and we will take these 2 guys off the back. Pretty powerful charge there. Next, we're going to have our Tyrant here issue a challenge to our Slaughtermaster, and he will accept. So these 2 will go ahead and fight it out. Same initiative, so let's go ahead and have our Fire Ogre start here. He's going to be hitting on 3s, 5 attacks, and wounding on 4s. Talisman of Preservation, no, so he's going to drop down 2 wounds. Bring him down to 3. And the Slaughtermaster coming back now with 4 attacks. We're hitting on 4s and wounding on 5s, so no. Okay, we got Ironguts on Ironguts, and everything's got the same initiative here. So let's start out with the Fire Ogres. 9 attacks, and we are going to be hitting on 4s. And let's see. There we go. And wounding on 4s. 3 wounds for a 6+ save. No, so we will lose this guy here, and this guy will be dropped down to 2 as well. And we should have just done the 2 ogres on the Mounfang right away. 4s and 4s and a 6 save. No, so he's dropped down to 1. And let's go ahead and do the mounts. And I forgot we all have lots of attacks here. I missed a couple, so there's a few more attacks. And wounding on 4s, no. Okay, now we can go ahead and do the mounts. All right, here we go. 8 attacks. We're hitting on 4s, and we will be wounding on 3s. So here we go, and we got all of them. Strength is too strong for those attacks, so we will lose this guy and another guy. Oops, not our banner. We will lose that guy right there. Okay, Ironguts coming back. All right, because it's all same initiative, we still have 9 attacks going into those guys right there, hitting on 4s. And wounding on 4s as well. And not so great. We have a 6 up save, no. Or actually 5 up save, but it wouldn't have mattered. And let's have these 2 guys that were here attack the riders, the Mounfang riders. 4s. And wounding on 4s. Okay, we got light armor, and we are +2 bonus for being on Mounfang cavalry, but it's a strength 4 attack, so we are going to be saving on 5s or 6s. We got 1 save, so one of these guys is killed. All right, there you go. That's the end of that combat. Let's go ahead and figure out combat resolution. So the Fire Ogres did 20 wounds. They had a charge, and they have a banner, so that's a total of 22. The other guys did 4 back, so they're 18. That means these guys are down to double 1s. Double 1s with the reroll. No, let's try it again. No. Okay, the Death Ogres are going to have to flee now, and they're going to go a total of 7 inches. We will pursue first with the Mounfang, and they are going to go a total of 9 inches. And we will then attempt to reform with our other guy. No. But he gets a re-roll. That's a 6 minus 3 because of his Doom and Darkness. So he just gets it. So our leader here, these ogres, Ironguts will reform. So the first thing that happens is those guys take off their fleet distance. The Mounfang is going to chase them down, and he will pursue all the way his full distance. And that is where he will end up having chopped down the general. This group over here is going to reform and facing down these ogres right here. And that is how everything looks now. That brings us to the end of the combat phase and the end of Fire Ogre turn 1. Let's move over here now to turn 2 for the death. Charges to declare. We don't have any. These guys are outside of their arcs, so we have no charges to declare. Let's go ahead and do some remaining moves. I think the best thing to do for these guys right here is just to reform, so we'll go ahead and do that. And we'll turn them just a little bit more this way to face those guys right there. Alright, and let's come over here. Let's have these guys right here move up a little bit here so we can get a shot off on those guys right there. So a 4-inch move like this, and then we will have a 2-inch wheel like so. Final position right there, and if we get down low, we see here that we have a nice line of sight onto the general for the Fire Ogres. And with the same idea, we're going to come over here with this chariot, and we will slide him right here and turn like so. So he also has an attack, a line of sight onto potentially that unit right there. End of the movement phase. We have no magic because our Slaughter Master is dead. So we are going to have to move right on to the shooting phase. Let's go ahead and start out with these lead belchers. Shooting at that unit right there with the leader. Okay, here we go. D6 hits for each one. Nice, a total of 14 hits. And of course I meant 16 shots. So we are at long range now, so we're going to be hitting on 5s. Hitting on 5s. And wounding on 4s. And there we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is armor piercing and strength 4, so that negates their shield. So we will have to take, let's see, this guy will lose 2 of his wounds, and that will put, let's see, 1 guy down to 1. Alright, panic test. We still have Doom and Darkness, so it's a 6 on the reroll. No! 6 on the reroll. No! These guys are going to take off. Fleeing how far? 3 inches. Oh, that Doom and Darkness is a powerful spell, which makes me think I did have a chance in the magic phase to dispel it with the army. I could have dispelled it with the army, but I forgot about that entirely. My mistake, and they will suffer the consequences for it. 3 inches fleeing. There we go. There they are. I'm fleeing out there 3 inches away from the nearest enemy. All right, let's go ahead now and take a shot with our cannon. Let's go ahead and try to take out their leader here. Let's go 10 inches from the back of our leader. All right, here we go. Overshooting by 6 inches and bouncing 8, a total of 8 inches. So that will go right through him. All right, here we go. Wounding on a 2. Yeah, so in multiple D6 wounds, 1 measly wound. Talisman of Preservation, no. So he'll be dropped down 1 wound. All right, next let's come over here and turn this guy. We're going to shoot a cannonball right through here. It looks like we're going to be able to clip off everybody there. So let's go ahead and go 10 inches from the back there. There we go. And it bounces 10 inches, hits directly on the back of that guy. It bounces through 10 or 4, so we take the highest of the 2. So bouncing through 10 inches, and that will take us right through, looks like our fire belly as well. Let's measure that out. So it's brilliant. Yes, it will hit our Tyrant and go right through and also hit the fire belly. Starting off with the Tyrant now, we're going to be wounding on a 2. Yes, and we are doing D6 wounds. Another 1 measly wound. We got a 4+ Talisman of Preservation. Yeah, he saved that. Now we go over here to this guy. Also hitting on a 2. Yeah, D6 wounds. 2 wounds only. Talisman of Preservation, 5+ saves. And he gets them both. Amazing. Okay, and with that we come to the end of the shooting phase for the Death Ogres. That brings them to the end of their turn since we have no combat. Let's move over to Fire Ogres turn 3. Okay, charges to declare. It looks like we are kind of stuck. He is out of his forward arc, so he's not going to be able to charge there. And these guys are not able to charge because they will run into their own unit here. so we are unable to make any charges. But let's go ahead and see if we can rally these guys right here. They're going to be rallying on a 6 with a reroll, and they missed it the first time, and they got it this time, and spinning them around like that. Let's go into remaining moves. Alright, we're going to go ahead and just shift this Mounfang like so he is facing down that cannon. And let's go over here and see if we can do anything with these guys. Not really. That terrain piece is kind of in the way, so we're going to have to leave it at that. Let's go on to magic phase. Winds of magic, here we go. 5 and a 3. Doesn't matter if they dispel, we don't have any guys left, but we are going to take our 8 dice and try to dispel Doom and Dark. Throwing 6 at it, army dispelling, and we get it. So that is finally off. Alright, no more magic. Let's go ahead and take some shots. Let's take these guys and fire over onto those other lead belchers there. Alright, D6. And that's a total of 7 shots on 5s. Oh, not so great. Wounding on 4s. And we got 1 more wound. Dropping this guy down to 1 wound now. Alright, and for our last one, let's go over here to the scrap launcher. Let's do the same thing and send a big old rock or a pile of weapons crashing into these guys. We'll do the same thing. We'll put it on his head right there. And we'll be scattering that direction. How far? 10 inches. So that will miss entirely. End of the shooting phase for the Fire Ogres, not much happening there. And because there's no combat, let's move on to the Death Ogres. Charges to declare. Death Ogres are sitting pretty nice, so they're actually not going to declare any charges. Let's go ahead and do some remaining moves. This guy will come right here and park himself right there. This guy, let's have him come a little bit like this and park himself like that. And anybody else need to move over here? Let's actually move these guys backwards just a little bit. Feels like kind of a wimpy thing to do with ogres, but we're actually going to bring these guys back here 3 inches and let the cannons and the shooters do their work. And there's their final position there. Alright, we've got no magic. Let's go on to shooting. Let's start out with these guys. Taking 4 of these guys shooting over here at those lead belchers. Alright, here we go. D6 shots. And wow, 11, 12, 13, 16 All right, hitting shots. On 4s. And wounding now on 4s as well. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we go over here, we take 2 away from that guy. He is down to a measly leadership 1. On a 7, they're fine. Alright, let's run over here now to this Ironblaster. And let's go ahead and fire from him. And let's go straight out here into our Tyrant. Once again, our general. So make sure we turn the nozzle a little bit. We'll go 10 inches from the back and see how much we overshoot. Misfire. All right, misfire chart. A 5 is lurch. Moments before firing, the Rhinox pulling the Ironblaster gets spooked and lurches in its harness, buckling and snorting. Roll a scatter dice and turn the Ironblaster to face a direction rolled. The cannon may not shoot this turn. So we will turn the Ironblaster like so, and it cannot shoot anymore this turn. Let's move over here then and take a shot with this one. All right, from here we're going to go straight from our nozzle here and right into the, let's go 10 inches from the back of our Tyrant, and let's see how much we overshoot by. 2, and it bounces how far? 2, and we take the highest of these 2. So we overshoot 2 and it bounces 2. That means we come up short. So that brings us to the end of that shooting phase, and we have no combat here, so that is the end of Death turn. Let's go on to Fire Ogres turn 4. Okay, charges to declare. Let's go ahead and declare a charge from here onto there, and he will hold. Second, let's do a charge from these guys into them, and they will also hold. Rolling it out first with our Mounfang. And 7 inches, no problem. So he will get in, come here and turn like that. And over here, 6 inches. And you will not believe it, it is their lucky day because they are exactly 12 inches out. So we will come here, crashing up into combat. Remaining moves, let's go ahead and just move these guys right here. They're a normal 6-inch move. And there's their final position right there. And I keep forgetting that guy. I forgot to roll him out last time. That's a misfire, so that will come off the board. Okay, let's go for the Winds of Magic here in the magic phase. And do we get a channel?
Yes, we do. So we get a total of 8 dice. All right, 8 to 5. Let's go ahead and do Fireball, and we'll cast it from this guy. We don't use a template, but I just like to use that to show you. Fireball, let's do the big version, which is an 18 plus. Throwing 6 dice at it, and we get it with a miss. 3d6 hits, and a total of 12 hits. Strength 4. Okay, here we go. 12. We need 6s. And we got 2 with a 4 plus save, so it goes down from 5 wounds down to 4. And rolling on the miscast table. So that's Calamitous Detonation now, and we have everybody here taking a Strength 10 hit. So all 4 of these guys. So for the wizard on a 2, and he has a 5 plus ward save, he saves that. And then each of those other guys on 2s. So there's 2 wounds to 1. Alright, shooting phase. Let's have our lone guy right here take a shot once more at these guys over there. And he will be hitting with D6, 2 shots, and hitting on 4s, and wounding on a 4. Yes, and that's enough to take this guy off, which means these guys need to take a panic test. And they're fine with a 4. Alright, and once more, let's go ahead and fire off from the scrap launcher right over here onto these guys. We'll put it over his head, hitting all 3 again. Is this the one? No! We keep missing 8 inches that direction, so it's going to fall off them again. End of the shooting phase, and let's run over here now to this combat here.
And it's a beautiful combat right here.
Alright, starting off with the Tyrant into the unit. 3s and 3s. Obsidian Blade, no armor saves, so that is going to take a guy off the back. I realize that I haven't been using the great weapons for any of the Ironguts tonight, so we're not going to start right now. These guys coming back, same initiative then, 6 attacks. So 4s and 4s, nothing coming back now with the Ogres. Pretty good here, and wounding on 4s. So here we go on 4s. And the Ironguts 5 plus is turned to a 6 plus because of the save, so they are able to save 2. But this guy only had 1 left, so we take him off, and the other guy is down to 2. Alright, combat resolution. Let's go ahead and figure this out. We've got 3 wounds from the fire, and they had a charge, and they have a banner. In contrast, we did 2 wounds. Coming back the other direction, and they have 2 kinds of banners, and they have an extra rank. So that was a tie combat. No musicians to break that, so that is where that will stand. Let's run over here now and take this combat between these 2 chariots. D3 impact, and we got 2 there. On 5s, and we have 1 there. Save. That is 6. So that was a successful save. Let's go on now and attack. Nobbler Scrappers here have the highest initiative, and they do not hit with a 3. Let's have the Leadbelcher Rider here. Go for 4s and 4s. No. And the Rhinox cannot attack to its flank, so we'll go ahead and head over to the fire guy. First, the Rider on 4s, and let's do another 4. Come on, Mounfang, don't let us down. No, 4 attacks on 4s, and wounding on a 3. So we got a wound there. 6 plus save. So not much happened here right now, but we had a charge here, so that means they lose by 1, combat by 1. So leadership down to a 6. Oh, and they got a 7. And they have, do they have any possibility for reroll? We got to check our banner here. And he is within the range of his banner, so we do get a reroll. Here we go. And it's an 8. No, he's going to fail and take off and run. And running how far now? With swift stride. He's going to go a total of 9 inches. And we will pursue. And we also go 9. We catches him, takes him down. So he runs here into the wall 1 inch away. We'll remove him. This guy will go his full 9 inches, and that's where he will stay. And with that combat resolved, the Death Ogres will now bow out of the game. Unfortunately for them, they don't have a whole lot left. They have these Ogres right here, these bulls, and they have these 3 Leadbelchers here, and they have a War Machine. But points-wise, they cannot stand up to the Fire Ogres, who have Mounfang, have the equal number of bulls, but who also have their mage in play, and most importantly, their general and their BSB. So there we go. In the end of turn 4, the game goes to a victory to the Fire Ogres.
Well, there you have it, folks. 1,500 points of Ogres versus 1,500 points of Ogres. Now, this was a pretty close game, as you would expect when it's a civil war, when you have fairly equally matched armies up against one another. Now, I did think that the Death Ogres would carry the game because I thought that their artillery, their shooting phase would be really strong because they had 2 Ironblasters. But unfortunately, they really didn't perform that well during the shooting phase. And in contrast, the Fire Ogre Tyrant really kind of swept over the battlefield and carried that army into victory. Well, thank you for watching this battle report and for joining us here at Grey Army Gaming. But more importantly than watching, we would love for you to come join us. If you're interested in challenging us to a game, please do contact us, greyarmygaming@gmail.com. Send us a description of your army, possible days when you can play, and we'll get back to you about coming into Lund, Sweden, to the gaming store Playoteket, where you can throw down some dice with Grey Army Gaming. Well, thanks for joining us today here at Grey Army Gaming, where Grey can always play.